You know when you see those big headline numbers for personal injury claims? Well, that's really only half the story. The other half, the part that covers every single financial ripple effect of an accident, is what we're digging into today. And these are the costs that can truly make or break a person's recovery. So let's get right into it. Right, so in Scotland, any compensation claim is basically split in two. On one side, you have solatium, and you say that S-O-L-A-TIUM. That's the part that's for the pain and suffering itself. But today, our focus is on the other side of the coin, special damages. Just think of these as the real-world, itemized bill for every single financial loss you've suffered because of the accident. So how does the law even decide what you can and can't claim for? Well, it all comes down to one really powerful core principle. It's got a fancy Latin name, restitutio in integrum, but honestly, the idea behind it is incredibly simple. The law is trying to hit a financial undo button. It's doing everything it can, with money, to put you back in the exact same financial spot you were in the moment before the accident happened. And this is where it gets really fascinating, just how practical this whole idea is. It goes way beyond the obvious stuff. For instance, say your injury leaves you stuck at home and you've got the heating on way more than usual. Guess what? That extra cost is recoverable. Can't do your own gardening anymore? The cost of hiring someone to do it for you is recoverable. Had to get taxis everywhere because you couldn't drive? Yep, those fares are recoverable too. Okay, now let's tackle what is often the single biggest piece of the special damages puzzle, getting back your lost earnings. For most of us, the biggest financial hit from an injury is going to be lost wages. So you can claim for the net earnings. That's your actual take-home pay that you've missed out on from the day of the incident right up until your claim is all settled. And we're not just talking about your basic salary here. This includes any regular overtime or consistent bonuses that you could always rely on as part of your income. But what happens when the impact isn't just temporary? What if your injuries are going to affect your earnings for years to come, or maybe even for the rest of your working life? This is where a claim for future wage loss comes in, and it's figured out using a method that sounds really complex. It's called multiplier/multiplicand. But stick with me, it's really just two simple steps. First, you work out the annual loss. That's the multiplicand. It's the gap between what you should have earned and what you can now earn. Then you apply a multiplier based on your age from these official tables. The whole point is to turn a potential lifetime of lost income into a single lump sum figure that you receive today. All right, next up. Beyond the lost wages, we have all the direct costs of getting you better. Now look, the NHS provides incredible care, we all know that. But sometimes you might reasonably need private treatment, maybe to speed up your recovery or get access to a specialist. The costs for things like physiotherapy, psychological therapy, or even future operations are all recoverable, as long as it was a reasonable decision to seek that treatment privately. And this brings me to a brilliant point about care. There are two types. You've got professional care, which is easy. You just claim for the actual invoices. But then there's something called gratuitous care, which is the help you get for free from family and friends. The law recognizes that this care has real economic value. So even if your partner or a friend helped you get dressed or cook meals, their time can be claimed for at a reasonable hourly rate. So how on earth do you prove a care claim? Okay, if you take one tip away from this section, let it be this: keep a diary. It can be simple, just a daily note of who helped you, what they did, and for how long. A log that you write at the time is infinitely more powerful than trying to remember the details months or years later. Trust me. Okay, so we've covered the big stuff, but a really strong claim is also built on a foundation of all those smaller, often forgotten expenses. It's so easy to just focus on the big ticket items, right? But what about all those little outgoings that you might just brush off as nothing? The truth is, they all add up in a big way. For instance, you can claim for things like prescription costs for all your medications, the cost of buying special footwear that you need because of your injury, even huge things like adaptations to your home or car, like putting in a stair lift or hand controls. And here's one so many people forget: the loss to your future pension because you couldn't make contributions while you were off work. Every single one of these is a real, measurable loss. And please, don't ever think these costs are too small to matter. The reality is that adding up all these little documented items can easily add thousands and thousands of pounds to the final value of a claim. So we've talked about wages, medical needs, and all those other little expenses. But let's bring this all together with the one golden rule you absolutely have to remember.
What's the one thing that connects a simple claim for taxi fares to a huge multi-million pound future care claim? What is that golden thread?
There it is, evidence. It really doesn't matter how genuine your loss is. If you can't prove it with some kind of documentation, you just can't claim for it. Evidence is absolutely everything. And what that means is, from day one, you have to become a meticulous record keeper. I'm serious. Keep every single receipt. Log every single journey. Keep up with that care diary. Document your time off work. File every invoice. It's this simple discipline that turns a genuine loss into a successful, provable claim. And that really brings us to our final thought for today. This whole principle of full restitution, it's designed to be broad and fair. So, thinking about this framework we've just gone through, what hidden financial consequences of an injury, big or small, might you have previously overlooked?